It is January 7th, 2025. I think I finally got it down where I'm putting the 25 on the end. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on because that's what we cover here. That's why it's called Crisis Report and not the Rainbow Unicorn Fart Report. So, yeah, major fires in California. Zuckerberg has seen the light. Trump wants to buy the Western Hemisphere. Normal stuff, Tuesday. So, yeah, quite a lot of interesting, unique stuff. That's why on PrepperNow I put the video out called "What a Day." I don't even know what to say. So, a lot of interesting things going on. Still a lot of craziness in the Middle East and in the SMO in Russia and Ukraine. Korea is having some major issues. So there's a lot of problems going on. So we're going to cover it all. That's what we do here. So if you guys could be so cool, hit the like button and darken out the bell, get the notifications. I have been going later, but I'm going to be starting to peel that back to more of a 10:30 to 11 type frame and not 11:30. So I've been live streaming on PrepperNow. I like to do that. I like to do both at the same time. I like to do it at a time where it doesn't mess with my family time. So 10:30 is about when everybody else turns in, and then midnight's about when I can kind of turn it off and still get a respectable amount of sleep. So that's the sweet spot here. But we're going to try and get it a little bit earlier, around 10:30. So I'm going to get started right now. It's about a couple minutes in. I usually wait about 4. But, yeah, I appreciate you being here. I really do. I appreciate my mods. Looks like we got my ladies, Texlahoma, Jean, and Mamacita. Gracias, amigas. So we're going to get started here and doing the thing. And thank you. Thanks for being here. Here we go. Earthquake in China's Tibet has killed 53 with tremors felt in Nepal, India. Or in India. UK plans to criminally charge people who create and share sexually explicit deepfake images to better protect women and girls. This is a complete ruse to take away from the gang thing that's been going around. They're trying to come out like they're sensitive to women's needs and stuff and protecting them. It's all total horse crap. They don't give a crap. If they did, they would go and they would deal with this whole evolving situation that they're trying to sweep under the rug. Over 5,600 killed last year in Haiti's gang violence, according to the UN. Zelensky sees ratings drop as Ukraine's war nears its 4th year. Biden administration is negotiating with the Taliban to exchange Americans detained in Afghanistan for at least one high-profile prisoner alleged to be an Osama bin Laden associate held in Guantanamo Bay, according to the Wall Street Journal. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg says we're going to get rid of fact-checkers and replace them with community notes, similar to X, I guess having rabid, insane, blue-haired fatties sitting in the background getting pissed off because you expose them for the BS that they have and the utter hypocrisy for, insert liberal talking point here. So, yeah, they're going to go back to community notes because, honestly, it's better. It's the craziest thing. It's like if you allow everybody to have a voice and to say something, the truth always rings out. It comes out. It gets had. You don't have to sit there and moderate everybody. People will call out BS and they'll run with it. So, good, Mark. You still think you're a lizard. He said fact checkers have just been too politically biased. You think? Destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the U.S. Yeah, they have. They're, letting a rabid communist tell people what speech is crap. Keir Starmer insists UK tackling child sex abuse after Elon Musk. Sure, bud. Great job. Donald Trump Jr. is going to arrive in Greenland. Been there, done that. Danish PM says Greenland belongs to Greenlanders. There's a big play on all this, folks. I kind of touched on it over on Prepper Now tonight. Greenland has a lot of rare earths. Okay, it's got a lot of resources, it's got a lot of oil, a lot of natural gas, and it's got a gateway to the Arctic. So they want it. They want it for strategic reasons. So that's what's going on with that. Trump is going to deliver remarks at Mar-a-Lago. He said a lot of stuff, angered a lot of people, as he usually does. Ukraine says conducting combat operation in Russia's Kursk region. They've actually taken a little bit more. Washington Post has laid off 4% of its staff because nobody wants to hear their crap. President-elect Trump is expected to announce new foreign investment into the U.S. economy in the Mar-a-Lago remarks. Investment will be $20 billion to build a new data center across the country. Wonderful. More surveillance. Investor is billionaire Hussein Sajwani, chairman of Damak Properties. So yeah, they want to do a bunch of AI so they can record all your data. Trump announces $20 billion Emirati investment into U.S. data centers. Trump refuses to rule out military action over Panama. Trump says he would use economic force, not military, to get Canada to merge with the U.S. So, how about we just keep things as they are, you know? I don't know. Canadians are nice, a little too nice. It's a beautiful country up there. I don't think we need the tax money or anything like that. And plus, think about it. All these, they're kind of liberal up there. They come over, they might start messing with our gun laws. So, I don't know. Leave them up there. Let us visit, and we'll share things that are mutually beneficial, but otherwise, not into it. Trump says NATO members should raise defense spending by 5%. Said they can all afford it. Should be a 5%, not 2% raise. So, dropping the economic hammer. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen rebuffed President-elect Trump to buy Greenland, but welcomed U.S. investment to the self-ruled territory. Trump Jr., Greenland loves America and Trump. Incredible people with an equally awesome reception. They just want to be able to utilize some of the incredible resources that they have and allow themselves, their country, and their kids to flourish. Translation, we like all the rare earths you have so we can build radar systems. New York State Appeals Court denies Donald Trump's bid to halt sentencing and the hush money. Oh, no. Oh, no. Elon Musk wants to buy Liverpool FC. Billionaire's father reveals. So, yeah, sports ball. Ireland joins South Africa in the ICJ case against Israel. France could freeze the financial assets of Elon Musk and jail him for foreign election interference. Macron just accused him of doing such. Who would have thought, if we had told the owner of one of the largest social media companies in the world that he would support the new international reactionary movement and intervene directly in elections. So now you're reactionary, folks. Getting angered that indoctrination is happening in your schools and they want your kids to take dumps in litter boxes. You're being reactionary, okay? France recently passed new laws on foreign election interference. Bill also lays out possibility of freezing the financial assets of people, firms, entities found to engage in foreign interference. Under the law, France would freeze the financial assets of Elon Musk and jail him, because that's freedom. At least 53 people have been confirmed dead, 62 injured after an earthquake. China's mountainous Tibet region. Numbers goes up. Got final numbers at the end. Indonesia has joined BRICS. 277 million people live in Indonesia, and now they're BRICS. That is a big country. So, BRICS is an alliance of countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, the United Arab Emirates, Iran, Egypt, and Ethiopia. BRICS is described as similar to the G7 and G20 club of countries that are out and not satisfied with the dominance of the West, and so they're challenging it. In the video, there is a comparison between NATO and BRICS. Of course, NATO is military past pact, while BRICS is economic pact, but the numbers are interesting. Anyway, bizarre. North Korea, Kim Jong-un has banned hot dogs and divorce in the country. So no more hot dogs, no more divorce, okay? They're bad for you. Yeah, said said eating the dish would be considered treason because it was too Western. Anyone caught making hot dogs would be sent to a labor camp for 6 months. Man, I'd be screwed. My mom, that was like her go-to lunch for us because my mom was a terrible, terrible cook. I love her. She doesn't, okay, let me reframe this. She didn't make food, she like assembled it. So she'd always get stuff that was like from the store and she'd like assemble it onto plates. She was not good at just, cooking. And so the things we had were very basic and simple. I think that's why I like really good, interesting cuisine and learning how to make stuff now. Because when I was growing up, I wasn't privy to all that. But yeah, hot dogs were a staple. China simulating surprise U.S. missile attack on South China Sea, Asia Times. 800,000 Russian soldiers lost their lives because of Putin's irrational war against Ukraine. Iran reported yesterday the substantial earthquake of 5.2 on the Richter scale earlier today, a city where a nuclear facility is located, Bushehr in southern Iran. North Korea has confirmed that they have launched a hypersonic ballistic missile on January 7th, coinciding with the visit of Secretary of State Blinken, South Korea. Putin may agree to Ukraine joining NATO if certain conditions are met. Prerequisite is the withdrawal of the U.S. military bases in Eastern Europe and the partial lifting of economic sanctions against Russia. It is written that Trump may consider these conditions acceptable, but it is not clear whether Eastern Europe will agree. Biden administration has shifted $95 million in military aid to Egypt, from Egypt to Lebanon, according to Reuters. North Korea missile likely reached Japan's EEZ, despite claims by Tokyo, who said different. Press release published by the Japanese Ministry of Defense about the hypersonic launch that took place contains discrepancies with the North Korean news report. While the flight altitudes are the same, Japanese 100 kilometers versus 99.8 kilometers, according to the Korea. The announced flight ranges differ significantly, 100 versus 1,500 or 1,100 versus 1,500 kilometers. So things are off. Putin could ask Beijing whether they would like to provide economic reconstruction aid to the liberated areas of eastern Ukraine, because everything that was depopulated and destroyed by Moscow, these areas would serve as a buffer zone. Iran is trying to increase the number of money it sends to Hezbollah, Wall Street Journal has said. Germany authorities have begun disarming members of the far-right AfD party by revoking their gun license. So, you know what that means. So, use your imagination on what happens when they start to take your gun rights away. Anchor of Russian Eagle S vessel damaged underwater sea cables found at the bottom of the Gulf of Finland. Well, the publication reports this with reference to the Swedish Navy. The anchor was allegedly raised during the holidays. The police have launched an investigation. Earlier, the ship carrying Russian oil products was seized by Finnish security forces. 8 crew members of the Eagle S were accused of severing underwater communications cables between Finland and Estonia and spying on NATO ships. Chinese vessel Jinjin Tiang has also under suspicion. Seizure of the tanker is seen as an attempt to impose an oil blockade on Russia. Donald Trump Jr. landed in Greenland, coinciding with his father's renewed interest in capturing the island. The visit follows Greenland Premier Moot Agade's call for independence from Denmark to shed colonial era constraints. Reports suggest Trump Jr. may meet Eric Jensen, Greenland's finance minister and head of the Social Democratic Party. Oh, wonderful. His visit reflects his father's view of Greenland as a national security necessity. If we could not annex millions of people that are liberals, it'd be great. NATO will send 10 ships currently serving in the Baltic Sea, as well as ships sent directly by NATO countries. There will be about 10 of them in total, and they will remain at sea until April. The ships will be located near energy and data cables. They will mainly act as a deterrent. In international waters, NATO cannot, for example, block the passage of ships from other countries, and the report says, in addition, the Gulf of Finland will continue to be guarded, in particular, by Finnish and Estonian ships. Peace agreement between Ukraine and Russia could be reached by Easter. Holiday falls on April 20th. That is also 420. It's also the birthday of a tiny mustachioed German leader from the 40s. Chinese hackers have the ability to shut down U.S. ports, power grids, and other infrastructure, according to the Wall Street Journal Post. National Security Agency, or NSA, observed that Beijing was starting to lay the cyber groundwork in the U.S. for a potential Taiwan invasion. Message from President Biden's National Security Advisor was startling. Chinese hackers gained the ability to shut down dozens of U.S. ports, power grids, and other infrastructure targets at will. Jake Sullivan told telecommunications and technology executives at a secret meeting at the White House in the fall of 2023. According to people familiar with it, the attack could threaten lives, and the government needed the company's help to root out the intruders. So what no one at the briefing knew, including Sullivan, is that China's hackers were already working their way deep inside the U.S. telecom networks. Iran holds defense exercise in Natanz nuclear site. Potential Israeli or U.S. strikes, M12 News reports. Royal Liverpool University Hospital declares critical incident over the spike in people with flu and respiratory illnesses going to an emergency departments. Berlin's mayor refused to publish the first names of the German perpetrators of the New Year's Eve riots. However, an analysis of the news publisher NIUS shows that 410 of 500 perpetrators had just a wee bit little of, not native status. So, yeah. Yep, migration background. So, It's almost like if you got rid of some of those people, the crime would go down. UK Shadow Justice Secretary Robert Jenrick says, we have seen millions of people enter the UK in recent years, and some of them have backward, frankly medieval attitudes. Women agree. Liberal Democrats said Kemi Badenoch should sack Robert Jenrick over his divisive comments. He's a threat to our democracy. Canada's Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre says it would be a gift by the Jewish state to humanity if Israel would strike Iran's nuclear facilities. Zuckerberg announces he's going to work with Trump to pull back and push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more. Trump doubles down. If those hostages are not back by the time I get in office, all hell will break loose in the Middle East. European MPs call for immediate action against Elon Musk after his promotional tour for the AfD party in Germany. New York Appeals Court denies Trump's bid to delay Friday's sentencing in the hush money case. Jab stocks have risen over the first bird flu death. Man who exploded a Tesla Cybertruck outside Trump Hotel in ChatGPT. He used that ChatGPT to plan the attack. That's good. How to dispose of a body. EU buys record amount of fuel from Russia. Volumes have been surpassed. Russia was selling through Ukraine before the January 1st transit halt. Turk Stream, the only source of Russian pipeline gas for Europe, is now a legitimate target for pro-Ukrainian groups. Massive cyber attack hit Russia. Fixed line and mobile services across the country were affected. Death toll from the 7.1 magnitude earthquake in Tibet has reached 140, China television reports. Taiwan has offered help. So you know it's bad. Taiwan's like, hey, we'll help. South Korean officials report that North Korea is preparing to send an additional 10,000 soldiers to Russia. This follows the deployment of approximately 10,000 troops already involved in the conflict against Ukraine and some stationed near the Ukrainian border in the Kursk region. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff expressed concern over the potential increase in military support for Russia, highlighting the ongoing collaboration between Pyongyang and Moscow amid the new war with Ukraine. International Study of War, ISW, reports that Ukrainian armed forces have advanced in the Kursk region, indicating a potential coordinated operation by Ukraine in this area or elsewhere along the front follows a recent surprise attack by Ukrainian troops and Russian forces in Kursk, confirmed by South Ukrainian and Russian sources. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky noted significant Russian casualties, including a battalion of North Korean soldiers, underscoring the intensity of the conflict in this strategically important area. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has stated that Israel must be prepared for potential war with Turkey. Announcement follows a report from the Nagel Committee, which warns of an increasing risk of direct conflict with Turkey, emphasizing Ankara's ambition to restore Ottoman influence in a significant threat. U.S. Special Envoy to Lebanon announced a military aid package worth $95 million for Lebanese army. The assistance originally was intended for Europe. It's aimed to support Lebanon's military capabilities and reinforcement stability in the region. The announcement comes amid ongoing tensions and aims to enhance Lebanon's role as a key partner in maintaining peace agreements. North Korean long-range 170mm self-propelled artillery systems, M1989 Koksan, have reportedly reached the front lines. These artillery units, capable of firing a combination conventional shells up to 40 kilometers and rocket-assisted projectiles up to 60 kilometers, were observed being transported in Russia. Deployment signifies a potential escalation in military support from North Korea to Russia and ongoing conflicts, raising concerns about increased artillery capabilities on the battlefield. Transnistria, the breakaway region of Moldova, is facing a Potential electricity collapse due to the gas supply being cut from Russia that began on January 1st, 2025. Disruption has led to the heating outages and increased reliance on electronic devices for warmth, resulting in a demand surge and about 65 megawatts. The region's leader warned of possible blackouts and technological failures if the situation continues. On the aging power grid, struggles to cope with the increased load. Approximately 1,500 buildings lack heating. Ugh. And around 72,000 homes are without gas. NATO plans to deploy around 10 ships to protect undersea power and data cables in the Baltic Sea by April 2025. Decision follows recent incidents and sabotage affected critical infrastructure, including the East Link 2 cable connecting Finland and Estonia. And NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg emphasized the alliance's commitment to enhancing maritime security in response to the threats, particularly from suspected Russian activities in the region. Increased military presence aims to safeguard vital energy connections and deter further acts of sabotage. General Mark Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs Staff, has been accused of allowing the use of heat and sound weapons against protesters during violent protests in Washington, D.C. in the summer of 2020 against Orange Man Bad. Allegations highlight concerns over the deployment of non-lethal weapons such as active Daniel system, which uses directed energy to create discomfort or pain. Pierre Poilievre, leader of Canada's Conservative Party, has positioned himself as a strong candidate for Prime Minister following Justin Trudeau's resignation yesterday. He vows to reverse what he calls failed Trudeau policies by prioritizing Canada, cutting taxes, addressing rising crime rates. Poilievre plans to implement significant budget reforms and aims to take control of immigration policies. So, Trump announced $20 billion investment in established new artificial intelligence. That's the new data centers with that Qatari gentleman. And also become a leader in the global AI landscape. U.S. vehicle carrier Cape Edmond has entered the Baltic Sea with a cargo of military equipment intended for the Ukrainian armed forces. Belarus has increased its military presence along the Ukrainian border in 4 different positions. That is Stolin, Lechitsky, Mozir, and Gomel. So, European Union is grappling with a significant security crisis as it enters 2025, primarily due to the ongoing tensions with Russia and political implications of Trump being resworn to the White House position. EU faces challenges in maintaining unity amid geopolitical strife, supporting Ukraine against Russian aggression, and enhancing the defense capabilities. Political instability in case member sources like Germany and France further complicates the situation. So, it goes on from there, but U.S. Envoy Amos Hochstein reassures that Israel will fully withdraw from southern Lebanon for the 60-day deal. He confirmed the Israeli pullout from Nakura on Wednesday, with the Lebanese military redeploying in the town. Progress is being made, with withdrawals will follow. Pentagon labels more Chinese companies are military in nature. Pentagon has added several major Chinese companies to its list of Chinese military companies, including tech giants like Tencent and battery leader CATL and shipping from Costco. Lukashenko says better dictatorship like Belarus than a democracy like what's going on in Ukraine. Ukraine's military is suffering unsustainable losses, with official estimates of 600,000 no longer with us, likely being conservative. Well, anyway, that's covered. Desertion rates are rising, and equipment shortages hinder the deployment of fresh troops. U.S. Treasury sanctions Mohammed Hamdan Daglo Mura. He's the leader of Sudan's Rapid Support Forces. In addition, OFAC is sanctioning 7 companies and 1 individual linked to the RSF. Germany asked the European Union to ease sanctions on Syria. Turks have basically taken over Syria. They were after that land for 2,000 years. Trump says, I think Russia invaded Ukraine because they saw that the Biden administration was incompetent. Understand the sentiments of Russia, which is against Ukraine joining NATO. Latest in the SMO. Russian forces are steadily reclaiming more territory from Ukrainian forces in the Kursk region. Intense fighting is ongoing in Malaya, Lechnya, though no video evidence has emerged to corroborate the reports. According to Russian sources, Russian troops alongside North Korean forces have liberated the village of Ruskaya. Russian troops are making significant advances along the western and northwest. I'm having trouble tonight. I got something wrong with my right eye. That's why I've been reading like this. Sorry. Northwest axis of Lazova. They have also successfully secured a trench network southwest of Ivonivka. Where was I? Russian forces still reclaiming intense fighting ongoing. Lachnia. Corroborate the reports. Yep, Ivonivka. Got it. Okay, moving on. Russian forces have gained control of the village of Slavchenko. Let's see. Political developments. Belarusian President Lukashenko warned that if Belarus is drawn into the conflict, the nation may not survive as a state. Meanwhile, Washington Post reports that Ukraine could face existential threats if the war continues for another year, having already lost over 400,000 troops, and that's what's going on there. Fire engulfs homeless camps in Colton, South California. Tragedy strikes those already down on their luck. This town is one of the hardest hit with homelessness in the U.S. People practice unsafe cooking and heating methods there. Representative Lauren Boebert, Republican, has proposed H.R. 129 to the House of Representatives to abolish the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Your lips to God's ears. Commonly known as the ATF or BATF. I've honestly lost count as how many times this has been proposed by right-winged American politicians, and I've got no confidence it'll pass. So it's common that you get a job at the company you worked at for a politician. So Georgian Prime Minister, former one, that tried to do a little color revolution action in Georgia, well, she is now working for the McCain Institute, and she's a Kissinger Fellow. Alex Jones banned anyone who criticized Elon Musk from going on to InfoWars. Unpaid medical bills will no longer be included on credit card reports, barrier for individuals seeking mortgages. So good news, now you can get a $4,000 mortgage on top of your $3,200 every 3 months medical bills and just get further deep in debt because it doesn't matter. Thanks, Joe. Korean Defense Intelligence Agency of South Korea has spotted North Korean TEL movements across the northern side of the inter-Korean DMZ. They say North Korea is moving 250 of these things, the TELs, near the demilitarized zone, and the conservative President Yoon and the leftist-controlled Congress battle for dominance in Republic of Korea. 250 TELs can fire 1,000 ballistic missiles in a total of, theoretically. Sunni rebels in Syria, new regime, are treating the Alawite minority in Syria like dogs. Yesterday, the Christians' neighborhood of Damascus, there was a provocative parade of Islamists in cars and on horsebacks, waving Al-Qaeda flags and messages of, get out of here or we'll slaughter you. Wonderful. Dark and terrible things are happening there in what appears to be the first ISIS state in the Middle East, and this state lives on their border. So think about that. All right, moving on. Hamas fooled everyone. They haven't moved an inch away from their original demand. Senior Hamas official Osama Hamdan at a press conference says we insist on a complete end of the fighting and full withdrawal from the Strip. I don't think that's going to happen. We hope this will happen at the first opportunity, they said. Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has introduced a resolution mandating renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Awesome. Residents are being told to prepare to evacuate due to a rapidly spreading fire in Pacific Palisades, portion of Los Angeles. Trump just shared a collage of U.S. presidents where the 46th president is labeled liberal staffers. Pierre Poilievre, Canada will never be the 51st state. And then Craig Shapiro on X says, Trump press conference summary in my view. He is breaking the 75-plus year deal post-Bretton Woods world, which was to provide military assistance to ROW and secure stable and safe trade lanes in exchange for using the USD and reinvesting excess reserves in USTs. America is tired of others around the world not holding up their end of the bargain, and it's time for us to pay the piper back. U.S. can't afford to be anywhere and everywhere anymore. Canada, Mexico, Panama Canal, NATO, Middle East, etc. It is America first and only policy, and the rest of the world needs to wake up and notice. And in the last days of the Biden administration, the FDA plans to ban cigarettes in favor of low nicotine options. I'm sure that's going to go over swimmingly. Absolutely swimmingly. So, That's Crisis Report, January 7th, 2025. Hit that like button, friends. Thanks so much for being here. God bless you all. Check out the links in the description. Check me out on Subscribestar, on Locals, if you should be so inclined. And we will see you on the next one. God bless. Have a great